but we'll just start with this spreadsheet. And all right, so let's start with, this is the universe of stocks. These are all the stocks that I track. Let's see how many there are. Command down. 3423. So I say 3,500. I don't know. Sometimes I could have sworn it was more than that. It used to be like 2,500. I started with like the Russell 3000. I don't know. I'm all over the place. Now, whenever I come across a new stock, I add it to the list. It doesn't happen often, but I'm excited. I'm excited when I come across a new one. And what I've noticed too, this list started a long time ago, but so many tickers fall off and get added on because of like mergers and acquisitions and stuff, and they get bought out. And like, if you're doing it manually, like you need to do a lot of cleanup stuff. And so anyway, the number of companies is always changing. But anyway, so this is the universe of stocks, but the universe of stocks is based on this database of stocks, the DB. And now you should see more than 3423. You see 3443. I've made some modifications recently to streamline the process a little bit. And so when I make a change to a stock on the submit tab, which I'll show you in just a couple minutes, it gets submitted to this DB tab. And the way it works is like it gets submitted along with a date, like the date that I'm making the submission. And then what happens is what gets pulled into the universe tab is it's the latest iteration of a particular company note, right? So that's why I have to have a date in there, not time. Usually I don't think I'm going to make more than one submission per day. I'd just come to the DB and edit it there. So that's why you're always going to have fewer in the universe, because it's only taking the latest version, and there's going to be duplicates here as I make more and more edits. And then some things I'll be tracking are, I'll get into it in the submit tab, but database. And so the way this should work, like this is what I've worked with some serious developers in the past, like legitimate badass programmers. They've like each written like millions of lines of codes, millions of lines of code, sorry. And they like, they'll look at this stuff and I know they would. I haven't showed them my spreadsheets, but they'd be like, what the hell are you doing? That's what they'd say, because this can be done so much more simply in a program. And so in spreadsheets, some of you may look at this and be like, oh yeah, it's kind of advanced, right? But like in my mind, I think of these two guys in particular who are looking at this, they'd be like, all right, yeah, that's pretty basic stuff. And anyway, what I'm doing here could just be done so much more simply and efficiently elsewhere. But this is how I do it in the spreadsheets, and for me, it's really helpful. And and hopefully you might be able to do this similar stuff if you care. If you care, I like to think if you're watching this video, you care, but I don't know. So that's the DB tab. Okay, so let's go to the submit tab. And the submit tab is where I'll submit to the database. So let's say, first of all, anything below this black line right here, row 22, is being automatically populated. The tickers you see here are pulled in from one of the other spreadsheets, either the tracker spreadsheet or no, just the tracker spreadsheet. These all come from the tracker spreadsheet. There should be 40. I think I'm tracking 40. You'll see that number 40 a couple times. It's arbitrary, but I thought 40. I won't get into it. So these get automatically filled. I'm so lazy. I'm not going to type in, like, I'm not going to type in, if I'm tracking a company and it's a big daily move or something, I'm not going to go type it into my fundamental report and to search out the fundamentals and then go type into my submit tab how I want to submit. Like, yeah, I could, and for one company, not a big deal. But when you start getting into like trying to do it all the time, it pisses me off how much time it wastes. So I built out these are ridiculous. They get more ridiculous than this, if you can believe that shit. So anyway, I'm just always trying to streamline stuff. And so these all get automatically populated above the black line. These are ad hoc stuff. So if I come across a new ticker elsewhere, I'll come to here just to make sure. I'll type it in. Anything that's in a blue box, it just means that the user can edit it, me. And then just to see if it's in the universe, and I'll check, and then stuff will pop up if it is, and then I can submit. So the way I submit is I type in this. Well, I won't do it for new. To these were new tickers. I forget how I came across them. Oftentimes it's via insider buying, via Open Insider. It's great. So let's take COP for example. These tickers are arbitrary. I checked off a whole bunch in the tracker spreadsheet just to populate some stuff. So COP, and you see it got put in there, and then it pulls in from my my universe all the latest stuff. And so some stuff that I'm looking at. I mean, you see name, sector, industry, sub-industry, business, and then price, market cap, right? But value, sometimes, like I used to try to value every single company I have, and it's really good. I should keep on doing that, but yeah, maybe I've mentioned this elsewhere, but value, it matters less than I thought it did. And then sometimes I'll value stock and I look like an idiot like a month later, like it just happened a couple months ago where I just valued a whole bunch and I'm like, man, what am I doing? And so, I mean, I feel like I can value stocks pretty well, but sometimes I look like a fool in not too much later. So anyway, I'm less diligent about valuing stocks. I should be better about it. I want to be better about it for the streams, just so you can see me value stocks, and it's good for a reference point. And then in addition to valuing the stock, I used to do value ranges. That's how you should view it. Like, yeah, well, to forget the precision. Hopefully, like it's not about precision, and you're not trying to be like super accurate with the value. You just want to be in the ballpark. I used to do ranges, low value and high value. It's just not worth the time. It doesn't matter. I just need a ballpark estimate. So just one input for value, and then for confidence, this might be more important than value. I'm not even sure. Like I'll try to assign a confidence score. I was doing 1 to 4, and then what I learned a couple months ago is that 1 to 4 wasn't granular enough, so I bumped it up to 1 to 6. Maybe it should be more than that. If you start getting, I've thought it unnecessary, like too much about this. If you start getting like to go up to 10 or something, that's too much, because then like you want each increment to matter. But you don't want it to be so tight that it's like a 2 and a 3 are pretty close. Anyway, I'd landed on 6. I just changed that recently. We'll see if that works. So 6 means I'm like super confident in the stock. It's hard to get a 6, but it happens. And then 1 means bankruptcy. I mean, it doesn't mean I won't deal in it. Usually I won't. But if you're a 1, 1's real bad. Like you don't see me pick 1 too much. Usually it's 2. And then blah blah blah. Ownership, if I pull up the proxy or the whale wisdom and I take a look, if I take the time to do it, I'll want to mark it here. It's super helpful for screening purpose during crunch time. But otherwise I'll just say I don't know, like I'm submitting it but I didn't check it, I don't know. And here, so this is because I submitted it in a different video. So let me just delete that because I'm going to show you that in just a second. This cool tags tab, cool tags column. And then I have a track column. I just track just means I track all the stocks, but I can also so I just say yes or no for track. But if I add it to a watch list, there's a lot of companies in that. That's like, I don't know, 500? I have no idea. I lose track. But 500 is way less than 3,500. So watch list is like some of the top stocks that I might be watching. 500 is a lot, but I started to track stocks for so long that I really have internalized their value, and I know when they're trading cheaply. It's weird, but so being in the watch list is good if it's good for my tracking purpose, because it means I'm looking at you a lot. On deck means like you didn't quite make the watch list. Is that what that means? I kind of forget. There's so many, you're gonna see me say this over and over again in this video. I forget. I think on deck means you didn't make the watch list, as in like I would want to invest in you, but like you're on the cusp. I didn't know how to classify all these watch lists. It means like I want you to be on the watch list, like I want to track you, but I just don't know that I'll be invested in